You're listening to a Food Bev Media production. Hello and welcome to this exclusive podcast interview. I'm Sian Yates and I'm joined by Andre and Jatan from Azelis, a provider of specialty food and beverage ingredients. Today, Andre and Jatan will be talking about the current political and health landscapes and how these are impacting food supply chains around the world.
Hello, pleasure. My name is Andrei Zhukov. I'm the Market Segment Director for Food and Nutrition for EMEA at Azelis.
Hi, I'm Jatan Sharma, Marketing Director for the EMEA region at Azeliss.
Welcome and thank you for joining me. What are the current challenges being faced by the food and beverage industry right now?
We have multiple challenges. Some of them appeared during the COVID period, and then the demand for food products went up quite seriously. So the manufacturers of food ingredients were not able to cope with this. So we've got plenty of shortages and the prices started to go up. And then this year started with a lot of political turbulence with the war in Ukraine. And that's also created additional complexity in the market. So we have energy costs rising. As a consequence, we have a continuous rise of food ingredients prices. And for manufacturers of finished products, it's also a challenge because they have to pass the increase in ingredients cost to the shelves and so to consumers, to all of us. This is not really making consumers happy. So we see that also the inflation is reducing the purchase power of people and they can afford less of the products. And we will see this trend developing during the year and beginning of next year for sure. For us as a distributor of food ingredients and solution provider, we need to really make sure that we have the necessary ingredients available at the most efficient price as we can. And being able to provide product concepts that we can present to our customers that will really support them in offering the right products into the market. So that we make sure that on the shelf we still have healthy and nutritious products, but at affordable price levels.
And Jatin, since the COVID-19 outbreak, which started almost 3 years ago now, what kind of changes did you see in consumer food habits?
There was a lot of shift in the consumer perception and their preferences during COVID. One of the things that really made people suffer was the quarantine time, where it was a big rush towards going towards supermarkets, stocking everything up, all the processed and boxed food getting stocked up by people. So people started cooking at home. They actually took out their old grandma recipes as well, started cooking. And people like me especially turned into chefs as well. So it was a good time where people realized that they can actually cook better at home, probably much more healthy and safe. And this is where the shift towards health, mental well-being, digestive well-being came up in the food. And the home-cooked meals, they just skyrocketed. So if you look at recent studies that are going on in the market, if you look at the French consumers, 37% of them say that they cook more at home, and it is much more than pre-COVID time. In Germany, like 32% of the people, they said they started shopping online for food as well, because food service went down, the restaurants were closed, but the online deliveries were still open. So that skyrocketed a lot, and partnerships with HelloFresh, Uber Eats, Deliveroo, and that increased business quite a lot for some of our customers as well as manufacturers. But because we are into the post-pandemic time now and everything is pretty much open and coming back to the normality of consumers going out and eating more, there is a big surge, as Andre said, in the demand. And to compensate that demand, the challenge is more on food ingredients manufacturers side to cope up with that. And we have a new crisis now, which is much more political. And to cope with that, it's an increase in prices, inflation hitting the consumers. So we've really seen that COVID and this new crisis have really put the food manufacturing and ingredients industry under some pressure.
Thank you. And Andre, looking at this current challenge, this global political situation, accompanied by, like Jatin said, inflation. How can food suppliers cope with this kind of crisis?
It's a good question, and I think for the food manufacturers it's really challenging situation, but what they are trying now to do is to really look at what they are producing, which product lines they have, and try to reformulate in order to avoid ingredients which are not available or really going sky high in pricing, and still to have the product which is healthy and good for the consumer, but at the same time using ingredients which are still available and also not just in volume but also available price-wise. That's, I think, the major challenge, and that's where we can help, because we are also in our labs, we're seeing this problem, we're seeing this trend. So that's why our labs is looking at what we can do and how can we support our customers in providing them with these solutions and providing them with some product ideas in various segments, whether it's bakery or dairy or beverage. Of course, also meat alternatives, all the vegan products.
And what lessons do you think the food industry can learn from these two global crises?
Well, there are many learnings, I would say. It's not only about the contamination that we've seen, but it's also more about the whole supply chain. Consumers are asking for more clarity and more traceability. So being transparent is one thing that needs to be to the consumers. The consumers are getting well educated as well on how things are produced and where they come from. They're looking for local sourcing, at least, let's say not a country sourcing, but at least a regional sourcing. And related to that is also the environmental factors of sustainability and the impact of supply chain on climate crisis as well. Consumers are thinking more about the future. They are looking for products which are much more sustainable. By 2030, I think we will be close to 9 billion people on this planet, and to feed 9 billion people, we need a much stronger and robust supply chain from the food ingredient side as well as food manufacturers. And the whole concept of health has surged in. Consumers are really thinking about their immunity. Immunity has come as the top claims on the new products that have been developed in the past 2 years. They're thinking about their consumption of vitamins, different minerals, how much calcium they're taking, apart from the other macro ingredients such as proteins and fibers in their diets. It's a trend towards healthy eating, keeping yourself healthy, physically as well as mentally. And I think this is something that the food industry should take into consideration for the new products that they're going to develop for the future.
And how can Azeliss adapt its offering to answer to this change?
Azeliss partners with well-known principals across the value chain. And we do offer a full lateral value chain where it's a one-stop shop solution for our customers. So they don't have to go to different places looking for the right ingredient. We have one place where they can find all the right ingredients, and we have the application expertise where our experts are readily available to mix all those ingredients according to the customer needs and provide the solution that is tailored to them. Apart from that, we have a great network of application labs across EMEA. We do work locally, but we share globally and learn from each other. And I think the most important thing also is to keep on the top of all the regulations and the laws that are changing and coming into effect. So we keep a track of that, and we are readily available for our customers to reformulate anything which is ad hoc basis, for example. What Azeliss has done in the past few years is to take really big steps into the digitalization, because consumers are becoming much more digital native, and tomorrow's consumers are going to be much more digitally native than what we are today. And we are offering our product portfolio, our inspiration, thought leadership and articles to talk about the future of food industry. And we are providing it in a dual support of physical as well as online approach. So this is where we have our customer portals that have been launched in different countries in our food segment, which brings the whole portfolio of knowledge, expertise and innovative ideas in one platform. And this is backed up by our physical sales team, which is much more closer to the customers and can provide a very dedicated support to them.
That was a food Food Bev Media production. For more information, please go to foodbev.com.